Today's sponsor is Kombucha Brooklyn. You can check them out online at kombuchabrooklyn.com. They're a artisanal maker of bottled kombucha as well as home brew kits to make kombucha yourself. Now if you're like, I have no clue what he's talking about, what is kombucha? Stay tuned because it's what we're going to cover on today's WTF. So kombucha is one of my favorite things. Kombucha is a fermented, sweetened tea beverage. Now, if you remember from our yogurt episode, we talked about fermentation, and we explained that it's a chemical breakdown that occurs when bacteria or yeast is introduced to some substance. Other fermented beverages are beer and wine, and like beer and wine, kombucha is mighty, mighty old. In fact, the first documented evidence of kombucha existing is 221 BC in the Xin Dynasty in China. The beverage spent some time in Russia and Japan and has kind of always lingered around that area. Of course, now it's popular in the United States and has spread all throughout the world. Many people believe that kombucha is linked to a long life, and throughout its history, throughout kombucha's history, it's been considered a medicinal product, and many people believe it is essential for a long lifespan. A lot of people consider kombucha to be an anti-cancer, improve eyesight, and reduce stress. In terms of what it packs, it has a lot of lactic acid, probiotics, and vitamin B. When kombucha is produced, a mushroom jelly-like pancake is added to sweetened tea. This pancake is called the SCOBY, which stands for symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. Some people also refer to this as the mother or mother mushroom. It is this mushroom, this pancake, that floats on the top and starts the fermentation process. It eats a lot of the sugar in the tea and also some of the caffeine, starts some carbonation, and gives kombucha its signature taste. And on the topic of taste, kombucha is sort of like tangy apple juice or champagne, depending on how much carbonation it has. It's a bit acidic, a little almost vinegary on the nose, but it really depends on what tea you start with and the amount of sugar that you're introducing, and also the history of kombuchas that SCOBY had produced. It keeps a legacy to it. So depending on what you start off with, whether it's a green tea or a black tea or some sort of fruit tea, your final product is going to be way different. So Kombucha Brooklyn hooked me up with their homebrew kit. Prior to that, I've just been finding SCOBYs online and making it myself. I'm really happy with this kit, and I think that it's worth checking out if you're looking to get into kombucha brewing yourself. So let's take it for a spin. First, you want to make sure that your brewing area, your jars, utensils are all clean. You also want to make sure that you have a space that's out of sun and a little bit warm to do your fermenting in. Now, unlike making something like beer or wine, things don't have to be super sterilized. It's a lot more forgiving than making beer or wine. Now you're going to bring 1/4 gallon of water to boil and steep 6 tea bags for about 20 minutes. I'm using an organic green tea that was supplied in my kit, but you can use any tea that you like. Just remember that you need to have a strong tea for the kombucha to brew. Remove the tea bags and dissolve 1 cup of cane sugar into your tea. Pour it into a vessel that you're going to do your brewing in and fill with another 1/2 gallon of room temperature water. You're going to fill it up until the tea level is just below the neck of the container. Let your liquid come down entirely to room temperature. Then add your SCOBY, plus a little bit of liquid that came in the previous batch of kombucha. Kombucha Brooklyn sells these little starter SCOBYs that come with some kombucha. You need to keep it in the kombucha to allow it to thrive. Cover the container with cloth and secure with a rubber band. Place your kombucha in a warm environment away from direct sunlight and ideally at about 72 to 80 degrees. After about 7 days, check on your kombucha. You should notice a new SCOBY growing on the surface. It'll look bubbly, brownish, and a little stringy. That is okay. Just make sure you have no green spots growing on top of the SCOBY. If you do, gotta nix this, 86 it, give it the kibosh, start over, safe. Now just taste as you go. Your kombucha will be ready in as short as 14 days and as long as 28 days. And as you do this, you'll start to notice the longer you wait, the more astringent the flavor will become and the less sweet the beverage will be. After you have brewed a kombucha that you're happy with, you can pour off about half of it and refill it with more sweetened tea to keep the cycle going. If you don't want to make any more kombucha, you can just remove the SCOBY and store it in a container in your fridge with some of the liquid kombucha that you're brewing it in, and then that tea won't ferment any further. The kombucha that you brewed will be good in your fridge for about a week. If you're watching this on iTunes or YouTube, please 5 stars, thumbs up, and be sure to leave a video response if you have something you want us to cover on WTF. I'll see you tomorrow with a new unusual food.